what is one of the biggest obstacles that comes to mind that makes it from difficult to impossible for young people growing up in America to find the freedom to be their true self?
I'd say one of the biggest obstacles, especially for young people, is the media. Because, you know, as kids are growing up, this is when they're learning about the world, when they're experiencing new things. And so they're very affected by the kind of input they receive, especially from their peers and from those that they see as their role models, you know, those that are older than them. And so as kids look up to like their teenagers, or teenagers look up to adults, or at least they look into the media that's around them, what do they see, you know? The media is centered on, you know, what sells, you know, what looks good, what tastes good, what feels good. And so kids see this, and so they think that by following these standards that the media sets, that's what they're supposed to do. This is the kind of person they're supposed to be, instead of realizing that their true self is something that comes from within themselves, and that they have to kind of like develop from within themselves, rather than this fake persona that they think they're supposed to create based on all these like images from the media. So one of the typical examples with girls is, you know, girls see all these beautiful women in magazines that they like to look at. And so they think that this is the kind of person they're supposed to be, because this is the kind of person that everybody else likes, that everybody wants to look at. But actually these models, you know, they have to starve themselves. And there's actually like a thing going on right now about how a lot of models are having real health problems. And I also saw this, there's this video on YouTube from this True Beauty campaign by Dove, about how they took this woman, she was a model, and all the things they did to transform her from her real face to the face they put up on a billboard. You know, they go through hours of makeup and hair and lighting, and not just that, then they use Photoshop to change her neckline and her curves and everything, you know, so it's not even a real person. But this is, you know, this fake person is what these girls are trying to be. But that's really not what is important. What you look like isn't what's important, it's who you are that's important. And yeah, so that's really what being your true self is about.
What do you think are the biggest fears young people have, which can often lead them to pretend that they're something which they're really not?
So instead of being who they are and having to, you know, face that possibility of rejection, they try to be who they are not, but what they see as what people like. So they try, instead of being who they are, they define themselves based on what other people like, so that they don't have to face rejection. They put up this front, this wall, this image, this mask that hides their inner being, so that if this mask is rejected, you know, that's not who they really are.
So there's no pain involved in that.
There's no pain involved.
Yeah.
But that's really, that's in the end, it's only going to hurt them.
Tell us more about that.
The essence of you, that's your true self. But if that is not who you are, who you're trying to be, but instead you're trying to be the cool guy or the hip guy, or you're trying to be the pretty girl, you know, you're trying to be a jock, and you have all these like these types of people that, at least for, you know, in high school and college, that are seen as cool. And you know, you want to get like the latest clothes, and you want all the girls or all the guys to like you. And so you have this image that is what everybody likes, is what looks good, is what tastes good, is what feels good. And the image that's created by the media. But by trying to be that kind of person, that's not who you really are. So you're always trying to pursue this idea that's fake, instead of being true to yourself. And because of that, you're never really going to truly be happy, because if you're denying your essence, if you're denying your soul,
Or hiding that.
yeah, if you're hiding that, then you're not going to ever be happy with yourself. It's almost as if here you are, you're scared of being of your true self being rejected by others, and so instead you just reject your true self on your own, so you can try to hide it from the pain of showing it to other people. But in the end, you're only causing yourself more pain, because if you're rejecting yourself, then that's even worse than, you know, having everybody else reject you.
Well, because no one can ever really discover who you are.
Right.
Because you're not really out there.
Right.
In the first place.
Right. And because that's really where you're going to find happiness, is by showing people who you really are, and by seeing the people actually appreciate who you really are,
Yeah.
and at the same time appreciating who other people really are.
Mm-hmm.
The people that don't accept you as your true self are people who themselves are struggling with the very same idea, are people who themselves can't accept who they really are. So if you can see that, you can see past their judgment of you, then you can see that it's all fake, and it really they just want to be happy too. And so you should even try to help them to come in touch with who they really are, what their true self is.